Better get through this before the SoCal rains knock the power out. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, February 24th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Big thing happening this week was PlayStation's State of Play. They've been talking about this one for a little bit. That we all kind of knew there would be one around the launch of VR, and that was a big mainstay of what was actually in the State of Play. Was there was about five or so VR games coinciding with the launch of PlayStation VR, which also launched this week. Wasn't too many that caught my eye during the State of Play. The Foundation game, I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with that. There was another shooter that looked like kind of black and white. So not a lot of the VR games really caught my eye. I think the big IPs are the ones that are going to drive PlayStation VR 2 conversion with Horizon or the Star Wars game getting remastered for that platform. But I will be kind of waiting to see what content gets put on PlayStation VR before I pick it up. But that wasn't all that was at the State of Play. The State of Play had the Destiny 2 launch trailer. Now that Sony is working on buying Bungie, gonna get a lot more Destiny in our Sony State of Plays. So yeah, Destiny 2 is launching next week. I know that Destiny 2 Lightfall is launching next week. That tells you how close to the Destiny 2 train I am. But been hearing pretty good things about it, and the launch trailer was at the State of Play, and I don't know, something I like. I think every time I've talked about Destiny 2, I said like, give me a fourth element and I'll be back. But something about this one just doesn't quite hit the same way. I think something about the cyberpunk city that you'll be running around in. The Strand looks cool. The bad guy kind of looks pretty cool and interesting. But yeah, I'm so far removed from what has been going on in Destiny that it feels kind of overwhelming to jump back in. And that's why I'll probably be passing on Destiny 2, even though I've heard really good things about what's been going on. We also got a 1.0 release date for Baldur's Gate 3, which I am very excited about. It's been in early access for like a year and a half now, but we will soon be able to play 1.0 release on August 31st. So very much looking forward to that. Also, listening to the kind of launch trailer for that, or the date trailer for that, you kind of get slowly realize that J.K. Simmons is playing like the big bad, I think. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of what he brings to the table as the big bad. Because we all know how bad he can be in things like Whiplash. He can be pretty evil sometimes. Street Fighter 6 also kind of showed off there a lot of the characters you would expect to be there. Zangief and Cammy and Lily were all added to the roster, so I think they're slowly filling out Street Fighter 6's roster. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 also caught my eye. And last but not least, they kind of ended it with showing off some Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League gameplay. I heard her on social media. I heard a little bit of mixed reviews on this. But we finally got to see what it will be like to play the Suicide Squad game. You're playing as one of the 4 Suicide Squad members, and you're trying to kill the Justice League. It's all right there in the title. You're running around and shooting. There's a lot of different traversal between each of the different characters running around Metropolis, which has been taken over by Brainiac. So all pretty interesting stuff, and it'll be and somehow takes place in the Arkhamverse, like several years after the end of Arkham Knight. And that's where we are. So let me know what you think of the gameplay for Suicide Squad or anything else that caught your eye at State of Play. Not related to State of Play was another big event. Diablo 4 had their opening cinematic that they showed off there this week. They also announced dates for their playtests. There'll be a playtest March 17th, at the weekends of March 17th and March 24th. And yeah, we get to see the opening cinematics. As someone who like memorized and drew pictures back in junior high of the Diablo 2 kind of opening cinematic, I think that's kind of what people have always wanted, is that they really set the pace in those opening cinematics. So it's really cool to see that and get me excited and looking forward to potentially playing the playtest. I'll have to see if I can get into those. moving right along, there was a pretty cool campaign that started this week that caught my eye. Maybelline, the makeup company, um, tried to shed some light on what it's like to play online video games as a female gamer. So they had the video I saw was like a 4-minute video, and it brought two guys in, and it used a voice modulator to make them sound like females, and they were just immediately met in any lobby with a deluge of like hate and terrible things and just curse words, and it was really terrible, and it was really saddening for the to kind of see that's how women are treated without even saying or doing very much or just trying to game. They're just hit with this deluge of hate, which is terrible to see. So I think it's definitely worth checking out, and so I'll have a link down below in the description for you to check that out for yourself, and hopefully get more allies and more people who will defend women in game lobbies, so that eventually we all can come to the realization that gaming's for everybody, and no one wants to be hit with a deluge just based on their gender or any other factors. So yeah, I thought it was really powerful and moving. So hopefully you check that out down below. Elden Ring has 20 million tarnished who have played the game, so they've now crossed 20 million sales, which is very impressive. I think there are, less than 100 games that have probably sold that much. So yeah, really impressive that even within less than a year since released, Elden Ring launched at the end of February. So slightly less than a year, and they've already sold 20 million units is quite impressive, and probably above what they were forecasting. So yeah, I think as someone who's played it and still hasn't beaten it, I'm definitely looking forward to getting more to that. Hopefully there's more content. Hopefully with 20 million sales, they got some chump change lying around. They can make some DLC content that I'm willing to pay for, go to a different place, and then that might be what eventually gets me to finish the game. Is more content somewhere. Not that I can't get through the content that already exists, but yeah, looking forward to potentially more Elden Ring in the future. Speaking of game sales, Hogwarts Legacy in less than 2 weeks has already sold 12 million units. So that was announced on a WB earnings call this week, as well as some other things that slept out. But yeah, Hogwarts Legacy has sold 12 million units in less than 2 weeks. So that's also a very impressive number and very quick, and I would assume very much above what they were expecting as well. Yeah, excited that people are playing Hogwarts Legacy and running around and enjoying it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next steps are for Hogwarts Legacy, as well as now that they've had nearly $1 billion in revenue. Secret Lab, the company that makes potentially overpriced gaming chairs, has a new thing that they want to sell you, and that is potentially overpriced footrests. So they have like a foot pillow with their kind of signature stitching on it, and a $90 foot pillow that you can put on the ground next to your feet and have them rest on. Now, having just recently bought a $20 pillow, you could just buy a pillow. I don't know why their Secret Lab footrest has to be $90, other than it's got to have their brand and they're kind of, I don't know. But it caught my eye, so I'll have a link down below. If you got $90 kicking around and you want your feet to be slightly propped up on the ground on a slightly cushy substance, then yeah, you can check out this Secret Lab footrest that I'll have a link down below too. To celebrate 5 years on the market, Hunt Showdown, probably the game that I most, in an alternate universe, I would play the most of, but I just haven't picked it up yet. Now that it's cheap, I might do that. But Hunt Showdown is a old Western classic extraction shooter. It's always looked fun. I've always kept it in my periphery, and I think more games should be doing this kind of like extraction model. So, but Hunt Showdown is celebrating 5 years, and to celebrate their game, like I said, it is now discounted at $16, down to $16. So if you got $20 lying around, you're not playing Elden Ring or Hogwarts Legacy, you should probably check it out, because it's a pretty cool shooter with iron sights. It's very engrossing, and something I always thought I would be really interested in, but just haven't picked it up yet. So maybe I need a partner. Maybe I need to find another person to play it with, and that's what'll eventually get me there. But yeah, I'm excited to see that Hunt Showdown is celebrating its 5 years, and that it's relatively cheap now. So this might cause me to tip over and purchase it. Moving right along, Bethesda announced a new mobile game that they're working on, and as someone who loved, I didn't like Elder Scrolls Blades, but I did like Fallout Shelter because I'm a huge Fallout fan. But they're announcing another IP that I love. It's coming to mobile. It is Mighty Doom. It is a top-down Doom experience where you can run around with like some roguelike elements, and you're running around as Doom guy, you're Doom Marine, and you're just blowing up demons. And apparently you get like randomized loot and weapons, and then you slowly slot those in for your next run. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. So I'm very interested in a top-down Doom experience, what that's going to be look like, and I definitely think it'll bring the hell to bullet hell in that situation. So looking forward to that. Game that actually launched this week, Sons of the Forest, launched into early access. Like I said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, it'll be launching into early access so they don't delay the game anymore rather than a full release. And it's already breaking. It broke Steam. It had 200,000 concurrent users, so Steam couldn't handle setting up those servers. So if servers are set up on the Steam side, I actually don't know what their server architecture is. But I did hear that it broke it and that they've had 200K concurrent users. So I'm expecting very soon from my friends and I who love the kind of survival, especially horror base building games, that eventually we'll probably play it sometime soon. So looking forward to picking that up and playing through that because we really enjoyed the first one. And now there's maybe a little bit more tech in the second one. That might be interesting to pick up as well. Last but not least for the week, for those tabletop RPG fans who really want to live in a zombie universe, The Walking Dead is coming to tabletop RPG. I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm curious what they do with the IP. Like, I don't expect there to be like a class system, but maybe roles and camp and base building, what that's going to look like. So because The Walking Dead has always been like a grounded IP. So like having roles or not like a class, like a fantasy class or anything like that. So, or ways to spec. I'm curious, maybe it'll play more like a D100 game where you slowly level up your skills as you use them. That might seem a little bit better. And I bet there's going to be a role-like system in the Walking Dead tabletop RPG. So I'll have a link down below. It's coming to Kickstarter sometime soon. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I already added it to my save list on Kickstarter, so looking forward to that. But that's it for this week. If you feel I forgot anything, leave a comment down below. Always happy to talk there or on my Discord about everything related to video games and the news coming out of the video game universe. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.